She stopped asking me to stay. And I thought I had won. No more tears across the doorway. No more pleading when I'd run. But the quiet in her eyes was the ending on its way. She stopped asking me to stay, 'cause her heart had walked away. She used to catch me by the sleeve, when I was headed for the night. Say, baby, please don't leave again. Can we make this one thing right? I would pull away impatient, like her love was holding me, never knowing that a begging was the last thread she could keep. She would stand there in the hallway, with her pride down on the floor, asking for a little closeness, while I kept reaching for the door. I mistook her tears for weakness. I mistook her hope for need, but she was fighting for the love I was too blind to see. Now that hallway feels much longer than it ever felt before, 'cause the woman who once stopped me don't stand waiting by that door. She stopped asking me to stay. She stopped asking me to stay. She stopped begging me to choose. She stopped crying through the night over every love I used. She stopped asking me to stay, and I thought I had won. No more tears across the doorway. No more pleading when I'd run. But the quiet in her eyes was the ending on its way. She stopped asking me to stay, 'cause her heart had walked away. She used to catch me by the sleeve, when when I was headed for the night. Say, baby, please don't leave again. Can we make this one thing right? I would pull away impatient, like her love was holding me, never knowing that her begging was the last thread she could keep. She would stand there in the hallway with her pride down on the floor, asking for a little closeness, while I kept reaching for the door. She became the woman I lost. Right there after leaving me. She found the light I never gave her, and learned what peace could be. Now I see her standing taller, than the love I made her pay. Oh, she became the woman I lost. When she finally walked away. I remember when her shoulders carried all my careless weight. How she smiled through disappointment, how she waited up too late. I remember how her laughter started fading little by little, how I blamed it on the season when the truth was in the middle. I was stealing all the softness with the things I would not face. She was shrinking in my shadow, trying hard to keep her grace. Now I see her in the sunlight, and she looks like she can breathe. She became who she was meant to when she stopped belonging to me. Oh, and the hardest thing to witness is the beauty in her peace. She did not fall without me. She rose when she got free. She became the woman I lost. She became the dream I broke. She became the quiet answer to the prayers she never spoke. She became the woman I lost. Stronger than my sorry now. Stronger than my sorry now. She became the woman I lost. after leaving me. She found the light I never gave her, and learned what peace could be. Now I see her standing taller than the love I made her pay. She became the woman I lost when she finally walked away. I remember when her shoulders carried all my careless weight, how she smiled through disappointment, how she waited up too late. I remember how her laughter started fading little by little, how I blamed it on the season when the truth was in the middle. I was stealing all the softness with the things I would not face. She was shrinking in my shadow, trying hard to keep her grace. Now I see her in the sunlight, and she looks like she can breathe. She became who she was meant to when she stopped belonging to me. And the hardest thing to witness is the beauty in her peace. She did not fall without me. She rose when she got free. She became the woman I lost, right there after leaving me. She found the light I never gave her, and learned what peace could be. Now I see her standing taller than the love I made her pay. She became the woman I lost when she finally walked away. I remember when her shoulders carried all my careless weight, how she smiled through disappointment, how she waited up too late. I remember how her laughter started fading little by little, how I blamed it on the season when the truth was in the middle. I was stealing all her softness. She don't look back at me, not even with regret. She passed the place I broke her, like a road she could forget. I was waiting for her eyes to tell me she still cared, but she don't look back at me like I'm no longer there. I saw her down on Main Street with the sunset on her coat, walking like the world was lighter than the one I made her whole. I was standing by the doorway of a place we used to know, thinking she might turn around once, just to see how low I'd go. But her steps kept moving forward, like a hymn without my name, like the woman I remember had walked out of all that pain. I used to be the reason that a whole day fell apart. Now I'm just a distant chapter in the book around her heart. And I felt the coldest mercy when she never turned her head, 'cause nothing hurts a man like knowing he is gone before he's dead. She don't look back at me, she don't reach into the past, she don't search my face for answers, she don't wonder why we crashed, she don't look back at me. And I finally understand. She forgave me from a distance, and that hurt more than blame. She let go of what I did, but she never came back the same. I thought forgiveness meant returning to the life we had before. She forgave me from a distance, and still closed the door. I waited on her anger like a storm I could survive. Thought if she came back crying, then the love was still alive. But she sent no bitter message, she made no midnight call, she just gave me quiet mercy and never came at all. Someone near her that she prays for me sometimes, not to have me back beside her, just to leave the pain behind. That kind of love felt holy, that kind of peace felt cold, 'cause she freed me from the dead, but not from what I chose. Oh, now I know forgiveness does not mean she has to stay. Forgave me from a distance.
She released my wrongs in prayer.
She released my wrongs in prayer. She don't carry
all my damage.
Oh, but she don't want me there. She found peace after me, and that truth keeps me awake. She found rest in the silence I kept teaching her to take. Now her smile looks different, like a soul finally set free. She did not fall apart when she left. She found peace after me. I thought she'd miss the sound of my key turning late inside the door. Thought she'd miss the way I held her, even when I gave her more excuses than affection, more cold shoulders than warm hands, more reasons to keep crying than her heart should understand. But I saw her in the morning through a picture someone shared. There was sunlight on her face and no sorrow sitting there. It broke me down completely, not because she looked brand new, but because peace looked better on her than pain ever did with me. Now I know I was the weather that kept raining on her days. She had to leave my storm behind to find a softer place. She found peace after me. She found sleep I never gave.
She found room to breathe again
outside the love I could not save. She found peace after me, and I finally understand a woman can lose a man she loved and still find herself again. She found peace. Now her heart don't look so tired, and I'm standing in the ashes of the house I set on fire. She found peace, he found pain,
She found light,
he found rain.
she found rain.
She moved on.
He could see.
A good woman heals when she finds peace after me. There were days I made her nervous just by walking in the room. She would read my face for thunder, like she knew a storm was due. I call that being sensitive. I but she was living with a tension that I never cared to see. Now they tell me she laughs easy, like she used to long ago, before my pride became a prison, before my love became too low. I should feel glad she's healing, but the truth cuts like a knife,
like a knife.
'Cause the woman I kept breaking found her way back into life. Ooh, I wanted to be remembered as the man she could not leave, but now I am the lesson she had to lose to breathe. She found peace after me.
She found peace.
She found sleep I never gave.
She found room
to breathe again
outside.
Outside the love I could not save. Oh, she found peace after me. And I finally understand a woman can lose a man she loved and still find herself again.
She found peace after me.
Now her heart don't look so tired.
Now I'm standing in the ashes
of the house I set on fire. She found peace.
She found Gaye.
He found light.
He found rain.
She moved on.
He could see.
A good woman heals when she finds peace after me. I remember when her shoulders used to carry all my moods, how she tiptoed through my silence like she had something to prove. She would ask me for a calm day. I would give her one more fight, then wonder why her eyes looked empty when she kissed my cheek goodnight. Now she wakes up in the morning with nobody making war, no one stealing all her softness, no one walking out the door. And the hardest thing to swallow is she did not need revenge. She just needed life without me, so her heart could start again. If I had been her shelter, she might have stayed. If I had brought her quiet, she might have prayed. If I had held her gently, she might still be. But she had to leave you hurting just to find peace. She found mornings without fear. She found nights without tears. She found laughter in her chest. She found silence that could rest. She found peace I never knew. She found sky that looked blue. I found guilt inside this room. She found flowers where I brought bloom. She found oh yeah. She got tired of holding on to a hand that would not stay. She got tired of loving hard while I kept pulling away. Now the empty side of morning feels like judgment in the dawn. She did not stop loving me. She got tired of holding on. She used to reach across the table when my eyes were somewhere else, trying to pull me back to loving, trying not to lose herself. I would answer with a half smile, like I had no time to give. She was asking for a heartbeat. I was barely there to live. She held on through my coldness,
held on through my coldness,
held on through my pride,
held on through my pride,
held on through the lonely evenings when I sat right by her side. I thought love meant she would manage every hurt I put her through. But holding on gets heavy when it is only held by two. Now I see her fingers slipping from the life we used to know. She was holding on for both of us till she had to let me go. She got tired of holding on. She got tired of being strong.
she got tired of making right,
Everything I kept doing wrong.
she got tired of holding on
To a love that would not fight. Now I'm reaching for her shadow in the middle of the night. She got tired of holding on, and I learned when she was gone, a good woman can love you deeply and still get tired of holding on. She held tight.
he let go,
He let go. She loved hard.
he moved slow,
He moved slow. She got tired.
her heart
Her heart got worn. A good woman leaves when holding on hurts more. There were times she almost left me, but her mercy pulled her back. She would gather up her sorrow, then unpack it in the past. She would say, I still believe us, with the trembling in her tone. I would promise her tomorrow, then leave her crying alone. She held on to old pictures,
held on to old pictures,
held on to our first song,
held on to our first song,
held on to the man I was before I started doing wrong. She healed where I hurt her, and that truth cuts me deep. She found peace in the places where I made that woman weep. Now the love I left in pieces ain't bleeding like before. She healed where I hurt her, and she don't hurt there no more. I used to know the weak place where my words could make her bend. Used to turn her tender feelings into something to defend. She would stand there with her heart out, trying hard to make me see. I would treat her pain like trouble when it was really love for me. There were names I never called her, but my silence did the same. There were nights I made her question if her loving had a name. Now I hear she sleeps much better. Now eyes don't carry rain, and I'm haunted by the healing that came after all my shame. I thought my love had marked her in a way that would not fade, but she found grace beyond me in the ruins that I made. She healed where I hurt her. She grew where I broke trust. She found light past the ashes. All of the love I turned to dust. She healed where I hurt her, and I finally understand. She healed where I hurt her, and that truth cuts me deep. She found peace in the places where I made that woman weep. Now the love I left in pieces ain't bleeding like before. She healed where I hurt her, and she don't hurt there no more. I used to know the weak place where my words could make her bend. Used to turn her tender feelings into something to defend. She would stand there with her heart out, trying hard to make me see. I would treat her pain like trouble when it was really love for me. There were names I never called her, but my silence did the same. There were nights I made her question if her loving had a name. Now I hear she sleeps much better. Now her eyes don't carry rain, and I'm haunted by the healing that came after all my shame. I thought my love had marked her in a way that would not fade, but she found grace beyond me in the ruins that I made. She healed where I hurt her, and that truth cuts me deep. She found peace in the places where I made that woman weep. Now the love I left in pieces ain't bleeding like before. She healed where I hurt her, and she don't hurt there no more. I used to know the weak place where my words could make her bend. Used to turn her tender feelings into something to defend.
She learned to love herself more than the man who made her cry. She learned her heart was worth saving after giving me her life. Now the mirror in the hallway knows the truth I can't ignore. She did not love me less. She learned to love herself more. She used to ask me for a reason, to keep holding on to us. I would give her empty promises and call that kind of love. She would look into that mirror, fix her hair and hide the pain, then walk back into my coldness like the sun comes through the rain. I thought her coming back meant weakness, thought her mercy had no end, but every time she chose me over herself, she was losing one more friend. The friend inside her spirit, the voice that said, you matter too. I drowned it out with my selfish ways and everything I put her through. Now I see the woman rising from the hurt I made her wear. She finally chose her own heart when mine was never there. She learned to love herself more than crying on the floor, more than waiting for a change that never walked back through the door. She learned to love herself more than begging me to see. She learned to love herself more than the man who made her cry. She learned her heart was worth saving after giving me her life. Now the mirror in the hallway knows the truth I can't ignore. She did not love me less. She learned to love herself more. She used to ask me for a reason to keep holding on to us. I would give her empty promises and call that kind of love. She would look into that mirror, fix her hair and hide the pain, then walk back into my coldness like the sun comes through the rain. I thought her coming back meant weakness, thought her mercy had no end, but every time she chose me over herself, she was losing one more friend. The friend inside her spirit, the voice that said, you matter too. I drowned it out with my selfish ways and everything I put her through. Now I see the woman rising from the hurt I made her wear. She finally chose her own heart. She was losing one more friend. The friend inside her spirit, the voice that said, you matter too. I drowned it out with my selfish ways and everything I put her through. Now I see the woman rising from the hurt I made.
She let go without looking back. And I stood there like a fool, waiting on one tear to fall, waiting on one more rule. But her heart had done its crying long before she packed that sack. She had mourned me while she stayed, then let go without looking back. I thought the day she left me would be thunder in the hall, broken dishes, raised voices, pictures falling from the wall. But she moved through that old bedroom with a calm I can't forget, like a woman already grieving what I had not lost yet. She folded up her sweaters, laid my key beside the phone, did not ask me to explain it, did not say she felt alone. I was waiting for a breakdown, for a sign she still might crack. But she had cried through all those endings, then let go without looking back. Oh, now I know the worst goodbye ain't the one that slams the door. It is the one that leaves so softly, 'cause it fought too long before she let go without looking back. She let go without a fight. She had already lost me slowly in 1,000 lonely nights. She let go without looking back. And I finally understood.
smiled like I never broke her, and that smile broke me down. No anger in her eyes no more, no pain left hanging around. I thought I'd see my damage written all across her face, but she smiled like I never broke her. And walked in holy grace. I saw her on a Sunday, by the market down the street, wearing that old blue sweater and peace around her feet. She was laughing with somebody, like the world was soft again. And I stood there in the distance, like a man outside the wind. I waited for the sadness. I expected her to show some sign that I had heard of, some shadow I would know. But the woman I remembered had learned to breathe brand new. And the smile I saw upon her said she made it through. Now I don't know why her healing feels like judgment on my soul. Maybe I wanted her still broken, so I would not feel alone. Oh, she smiled like I never broke her, like I never made her cry, like she never begged for mercy, with tears inside her eyes. Oh, she smiled like I never broke her. And I saw what I had lost. She smiled like I never broke her, and that smile broke me down. She smiled like I never broke her, and that smile broke me down. She smiled like I never broke her, and that smile broke me down. No anger in her eyes no more, no pain left hanging round. I thought I'd see my damage written all across her face, but she smiled like I never broke her, and walked in holy grace. I saw her on a Sunday by the market down the street, wearing that old blue sweater and peace around her feet. She was laughing with somebody, like the world was soft again. And I stood there in the distance, like a man outside the wind. I saw her on a Sunday by the market down the street, wearing that old blue sweater and peace around her feet. She was laughing with somebody, like the world was soft again. And I stood there in the distance, like a man outside the wind. I waited for the sadness, I expected her to show.